tapping in. Definitely like, comment, share. Let us know if you agree or you disagree. I think I'm gonna need to put Keith Murray versus Fredro Starr in the because people keep talking about in the description because people keep talking about the refs, man. You know what I'm saying?
I'm trying to tell you, they want to see that Keith Murray rematch. I keep telling you, they want to see it.
No,
man.
they want to see the refs fight Keith Murray and Fredro Starr for them for pushing us across the stage or me. But yo, listen, man, I was sick. I had the flu.
Man, listen, it's all
No,
good.
bro, listen, bro. I'm talking about.
I remember.
What? Yo, let me tell you something. I just was happy we got it off because if you didn't know, it took a minute to get that battle off. Keith Murray versus Fredro Starr.
It was supposed to happen in Atlanta.
In Atlanta.
It did not go down in Atlanta.
Issue in Atlanta.
He was about to get arrested in Atlanta. They had the cuffs on him.
Cuffs on me.
I wasn't allowing it.
Take me away, bro. I was like, listen.
I was in jail too because I wasn't hearing.
I said, take me to jail, bro.
I said, he ain't going to jail. What do you mean he ain't going to jail?
I ain't want to go in front of that crowd.
We had to figure it out real quick.
Yo, so either which way, I was happy that it got off. And so and I'm also like, because you know, I'm like, yo, what the hell? I'm thinking Keith Murray was about to go in. I was so surprised and shocked at the fact Fredro Starr was putting it down like that.
Fredro Starr was ready.
He was all the way thorough, but I should have known because throughout the whole thing, he was on point. You know, I'm not saying Keith wasn't on point, but Keith, if you can see the interviews he be doing right now, that's Keith Murray. You know what I'm saying? That was him throughout the process of
the whole process of us getting the battle
booking
done.
him, talking to him, preparing,
but
getting the video
love,
footage.
Ain't nothing but love.
Yeah, nothing but love. But I'm just saying that dude was crazy. So yeah, man. Shouts out to Math Offers, my expert opinion. That Troy Ave joint is crazy.
You know what?
We just talking about
you
that.
You know what? That Troy Ave. Shouts out to Troy Ave, man, for surviving. I know he had a bullet enlarged in his back and his head. Like he's walking around here with a bullet in it. He still got those fragments inside of him,
Crazy.
Inside of his back and his head. You know what I mean? Shouts out to him. You know what I mean? And there was a conversation inside the during the interview with my expert opinion with Math, and he was asking him, man, when is enough, basically, you know what I'm saying? Like when you beef it, at what point do you say, all right, cool, my man's is going to jail, my man's is dying, you know, man, let's just go ahead and just stop.
Right. Yeah, exactly. That's what he's asking. I saw that.
And Troy like, nah, you know what I mean? Nah, I love different. Different.
You're saying that, yeah.
But I get that though. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get that. I really do get that. Like,
yeah, but
I just don't want to sound crazy with what I'm about to say. I feel like this is how I feel. I feel like once it's on, it's on.
Well, he said that now you're going to be endangering other people, your other friends that you're supposed to be loyal to, continuing to hold the situation going.
But see, this is the thing I'm saying. Like even with us as Sabians, right? Y'all see our drip. You see how we get busy, right? I think if it's a thing where one of our loved ones was to pass off on some violent stuff, right? I think we should get back. Eye for eye, tooth for tooth. And now, if it's like a thing like, okay, it's on and popping against us and them, should it be at a point to stop? The best thing I can say is, based on our doctrine, how we move, we do not put ourselves in a position to even have to even deal with that. We don't put ourselves in a position to have to go all the way out. But once it's on, it's on.
So interestingly enough, there's where them those white I think that's I almost want to say that might be European, that might be Western influence on our mindset. Might be, right? Because when you do go into the ancient cultures of Africa, you see peace. Right, that's what right. That's what I remember. That's what I remember. That's what I remember reading. I remember reading that. But now let me finish. Let me finish now. And I mean, I guess there was Satuk and his brother. You know what I'm saying? That ain't even keep on. You know what I'm saying?
The-
I don't think the horrors keep the fight going.
The villages, right? Before you even go to ancient Egypt, the villages, right? Tribes. Once they got beef, once it's on,
Right.
they continue it every whatever the season is. You know what I'm saying? Like they'll beef it out until they stop that day, and they'll come back into that same. They'll regroup and come back, and like the wars will go on for years. But the way they do it in African culture is different than in European culture. Like
How far back we going? We going before influence of European culture?
yeah, this is before them talking. Like, even the Shaka Zulu movie, like
That's influence of European culture.
European culture.
It was all up in there.
They were all up in there, but they were all up in there with the way the
Okay, so they was
Zulus.
supplying. Okay, y'all was already beefing, so here we giving you the edge up now. Here's the guns, here's the pistols. That's what I'm
Facts,
saying. They was
fact.
already-
But I'm saying, but before the gun, the advent of the guns, when they first got there, they would have their tribes that they would have beef with for whatever reason.
No, I'm saying yeah. I'm acknowledging that if I recall correctly, they was beefing already, and what the Europeans or the British or whoever those was the Dutch, whoever them came over, they was supplying him with the weaponry, the cannons. I just remember it's been a minute since I watched that movie, and I don't know how accurate the movie was, but they would come and supply the cannons to Shaka Zulu and his people to fight against the people he was already fighting against. That's what you're saying.
Yeah,
right?
but all I'm saying is that we as African people,
But-
even in
okay.
Egypt, even
But
if you go as far,
can I go into why? Because I said the European, and then I kind of got cut off.
my fault.
In where the Appalachian Mountains, those
do I
people,
know it's at?
I mean, the where they got the militia groups.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. They on it like that. Matter of fact, in Malcolm Gladwell's book, what's the name of that book? That Outliers. Right. He was talking about how they genetically are more aggressive because situation where these two families been beefing, right? You know what I'm saying? This is where those militia groups are for like 100+ years. Like I think the beef's still on right now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. I never heard that outside because even the Watusis and who was it they was beefing with? Cause is it the Watusis, the Rwanda?
Okay.
The two tribes that was
the Tweed and
even that beef ain't even going on. These guys are still going. Those Appalachian white guys are still going at it. You follow what I'm talking about?
Right.
That family beef is still going on.
Right.
So for 100+ years, then you got the Yorks and the Lancasters. Then you
Right.
had the fact that they was killing each other to the point we know this to be fact. That the Vikings, right, which is the six kings, right?
Six
Because the
kings.
V1 in Viking stands for the number, the Roman numeral V in one.
Right.
So six kings, which was your Welsh, your Anglo-Saxon, Celts,
Right.
and two others that I'm not able to recall at this moment
Was
in
the
time.
Dutch involved?
I'm not sure, but it was six. It was six kings, and they was beefing so hard, killing each other so much.
Thank you so much.
They said, "Look, we're gonna need to go out into the other parts of the world,
Right.
so that we don't keep killing each other." And there was numerous.
Thank you so much.
There was numerous meetings like that, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? Because
Right.
Europe
Thank you
is
so much.
is controlled by what they call a balance of power, right? Because you know what I'm saying, each country gotta stay strong enough not to let one other country dominate the other.
Right.
But that's why I was thinking, that might be like a European mindset where it's just never, from your son, your son, it's still beefing with my son. Don't even really recall what the whole purpose of the beef was.
No reason why I disagree with that. Not so much disagree,
debatable.
but it's debatable.
It's debatable.
To the degree.
Well, to a degree.
To a
Because
degree.
I definitely, you got to show me now, generation deep beef of Africans or even indigenous Native Americans, right? That has gone as long as those Europeans be beefing.
I mean, I'll go as far as to say Enlil Enki. Oh damn, I can't do that.
Man, you can't bring that up. Come on, bro. They not even terrestrial beings.
But they genetically brought. They're the ones that brought that. I mean, all right. So even if you go,
Yeah, they're the ones that definitely put it in the European. Because remember, those are the Pleiadians.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So what's it called? Enlil Enki and them are from Pleiades, and according to reading. Okay, phone overheating. Man, that's crazy. It's hot up in here. Okay, but go ahead. But either which way, that's still dealing with a Western, because Rome,
Rome.
yeah, revenge,
We got out there real quick. We're talking about revenge. We're talking about
and what culture it comes from.
yeah. Now not letting it go. You know what I'm saying?
And then I think the last thing I said was is your son's son beefing with the son's son of some other,
right.
you know, at some point they don't even know why. And then I was using it as an example that I don't think it's so much dominant in African culture like that, because I don't know no story other than, of course, Set and Osiris, or Asar and Satuk, right? I don't know no other story. And even that one stopped at some point in time because they was brothers. You know what I'm talking about? The same bloodline. That's where they get the Cain and Abel story. But I can't think of one. You know what I'm saying? And I thought the example was that Rwanda even stopped the beef between them two tribes that was beefing.
Right.
All
Ethnic
that murder.
cleansing.
Right. And I think also that was by Europeans. If you start getting into what happened. What's that about? That's interesting.
Different shades.
That's interesting. I did not do this purposely, but how do we get it back to the regular normal?
The first one.
Bomb. Okay. How do we take that off right there? Okay. So that was that. But go ahead. Continue on the Troy Ave bill.
I mean, all I'm saying is that I got his point. I think what was that Kings of New York? Was it Kings of New York? Tales of the Kings of New York in the 1800s?
Gangs of New York.
Gangs of New York. It's like
dealing with right now, right?
Remember, like Gangs of New York. You know what I'm saying? It's like certain beef.
Gangs of New York.
Certain beef just don't die, and maybe that's a part of my.
Where were the gangs of New York? Oh, but that's all. That's all
the
Europeans.
It is, but right. I'm just saying.
That's what my point is.
All I'm saying, okay, I get you on that. I get you on that, and I'll do the research. But I get what Troy Ave was saying. You know what I mean? Certain things just it doesn't die without consequences. There's certain I
get that. I mean, I even get the revenge. I even get eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth.
It doesn't die after, because, and I bring it back to us. You know what I'm saying? As Sabians or Nuwapians, you know what I mean? They might look at us like you guys are soft, and then because how we look and how we dress, we identify, we represent a culture, and because of that, they might try to do something, and the thought process, we're going to call the police and we're going to let it be done right like that, and that's not the case. You know what I mean? Because and I don't think it should be something where you're taken advantage of, and then especially if you're not the person provoking the situation, and then a loved one get lost, and then that's it. You know what I mean? You just kind of give it to God, or give it to the Most High, and I don't know. This, my thoughts on is conflicted. So I just wanted to say I understand what Troy Ave was saying.
Right.
But however, I'm not for the. I think going back to our doctrine, you shouldn't put yourself in a position where you have to kill somebody. You shouldn't put yourself in a position where you have to walk around with a weapon. You know what I mean? Your environment should not be that intense or aggressive where you should when you're pumping gas and you're holding the gun with the other hand. You know what I mean? But then I also get that some people don't have a choice. That's where they live at. They're paying a certain amount of money per month. They're going to they you know what I mean? They setting is locked. They got to go to work. They live right here. The children go to school right there. You know what I mean? And the neighborhood is wild for the night. So when I'm at the pump, pumping my gas, I'm gonna have my firearm in my hand in case somebody wanna pop up on me. I get that. You know what I mean? But it's a situation where because of that, you want to be able to put yourself in a different type of environment where those environments are like, the people that's in Chicago.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Tell your son, or if your son's friend gets killed, and now he wants to get revenge.
See, yeah, that's real, because now I have to be able to instill a level of right knowledge, right wisdom, right understanding.
You just said that he's supposed to.
I'm not saying
to die.
No,
you just said that.
This is what I'm saying.
Right.
I'm gonna say it again. I understand the perspective that Troy Ave was talking about. However, you shouldn't put yourself in the position to have to deal with that. Now, if it's my son and his loved one just passed, or his person that he's loyal to just got killed, in whether it's, he didn't provoke it, right? He didn't provoke, his friend did not provoke the situation, and his friend just got killed. And now he feel like he has to revenge his friend's death. I don't think there's anything I could say to my son to remove that hurt, that pain. You know what I'm saying? I don't think there's anything I could say to.
We have to have this type of conversation.
It's real, but it's real though. But I don't think there's anything I could say to him to remove that hate or pain or what have you, right?
I'm definitely gonna be like, yo, man.
Let's let it die. Let it. Yeah, but then that hurt, that pain.
Because I'm recognizing that there's also a source behind everybody's actions. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
So now you killing him. He's not even the reason that the whole situation. The reason y'all in this situation is because they put drugs in the community, they put guns in the community, they put certain content, they made sure that only certain content get pushed in the music. So you influenced, whether you like it or not, to think and act that way. So that's not even the enemy. The dude that did that to you, and did that to your friend, is not even the person. He's not even the enemy. He was influenced.
I can say that to him, but I don't think there's going to be enough to take away that pain or hurt that he feels.
But it still doesn't take away from the fact that it's a fact.
It is.
I thought it's not debatable.
It's a fact. It's a fact. It's a fact. It's a fact. I just wanted to, kind of, because Math was like the route Math was taking was like, yo, just let it go.
But I think also,
and I agree with that. Let it go, right? But my sentiments on letting it go is don't allow it to happen. Because if it does happen, it's like if you're in a war zone already, right? The idea is to get out the war zone.
Right.
That's where I'm at with it. Now, if you at war, your mom's get shot in the interim, you might not have the ability to stop because your mom's got shot and they shot up the house and your mom got hit. You know what I mean? And then like my mom's got hit behind us. You might not even see. You know what I mean? The circumstances might not allow you to be able to let, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yo, check it out. Unique Mecca Audio. I don't know if y'all been seeing this guy right here. He talked about they done kidnapped his moms when he was, remember the guy I told you that was doing the 25 keys a day or whatever from Jamaica?
Wow.
Yeah, you gotta chill. This guy right here. I don't know, like they be trying to say that some of his interviews is cat. I don't think so though. I do not think so. Because remember they had him in US ADX Max. But yeah, man, it's just sad that we even have to have this type of conversation. But it's real. What I was gonna say is about another thing when Troy Ave is putting that type of imagery across too. We gotta also recall that he still might have beacon guys. I don't know, but he might still have issues with them people. He gotta let them know, like I'm not playing. Like you know what I'm saying? Like he might have to have that mindset for survival right now because them guys, I don't know, they might still want to, they tried to kill him, they didn't get him, you know what I'm saying? There's people in prison, involved and connected with it, maybe maybe he probably still got to put that across,
right? In
order for the other, like, if you come try to test me, you know what I'm saying, it's on and popping, you know what I mean? Like that's what I'm also thinking. So that'd be a part of it. You know what I mean?
The conversation was really like the conversation that they were having. There was some laughing and joking going on, but the tension was thick.
Right.
Because the man that sits on the far end,
right.
He kind of checked him about crying or whatever.
Let me ask you this: Akito Don Cote, right? Is that his name? Is he dealing with Don Cote, the richest man, one of the richest men in Africa?
Okay, yeah.
He ain't dealing with nothing like that.
Nah, he's on the floor.
Was he ever?
He not, because his people have bread. Don Cote people had bread before.
I don't think it's going down like that. I don't think it's going down like that in Nigeria, where cats are just having beef. Where you know what I'm saying?
Nah, the beef level is different. You know what
You know what I'm
Nah,
saying?
it's different. I
Where
mean,
they just
you might
chasing
get
each other
you might
down.
get kidnapped though. You know what I'm saying?
That can happen.
You might
That
get
happen in
poisoned.
third world country,
You might get poisoned.
That
You
can
know what I
happen.
mean? The beef level is different.
It's definitely different though. It's definitely different.
I agree. The beef level is different,
Definitely different.
but he don't have to.
Hold on.
What we got to deal with in the United States, a lot of these guys that got bread out here don't got to deal with it. You know what I mean? Even on
The ones in the United States still got to deal with it. Even if you got money and you in the United States, you still got to deal with it.
because you still
Troy Ave got money.
now he's still subscribed. You have to hear how he talking.
Right.
With his two sons.
He's still
You know what I mean?
with this.
He's still with the smoke. So it's like with and the fact that this the thing, right? Your subscription. All right, let me say it differently. What your makeup does not has to be worn on your sleeve, or you do not have to animate your makeup, right? However, if you are subscribing
Right.
to a particular thought process,
Right.
and that subscription consists of other people that subscribe to that particular thought process, you ain't gonna have no choice to deal with those people's makeups, because what happened, what happened to him, because of whatever beef took place.
Right.
Even though how he even talked about 50, how he had to roll up on 50.
Right.
If hypothetically Fifth had a bodyguard that knew how to pick up aggression on sight, he might have got mopped on his way to 50, and he couldn't even made it to 50 for the conversation. That's a reality.
Right.
But the fact that Fifth, they had the conversation, he put him to the side because Fifth is able to identify, that vibe. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, my man, little man, I see where you coming from. All right, let's chop it up. And in chopping it up, he built with him. But then I peeped that he went with Pop Smoke. He didn't necessarily go with Troy Ave. You follow what I'm saying?
Nah, but you can't. I wouldn't.
That was still. That's
No.
It's the same sound.
No.
It's not the same sound.
What? Are you crazy?
Hold up.
Shouts out to Troy Ave, but bro, the dude Pop Smoke, there's some people that are he's a better musician, and that's not a shot at Troy Ave. Troy Ave is dope at what he do, but come on, man.
That's not the same sound.
Hell no. The dude is super. Dude with Pop Smoke was
R.I.P.
super
Pop
gifted.
Smoke. I mean,
and because look, and I'm gonna say this because
What made him super gifted?
his voice.
Okay, he had a baritone voice.
And his voice is similar to whose?
50.
Okay. Hey, so
this Troy Ave.
No, his voice, he got a high pitched voice. You never heard his music?
Yes.
His voice like mine. I got a high pitched voice. He got a high pitched voice.
When Troy Ave first came out, I associated him with Fifth. It was like
maybe the hooks.
It was like a fifth
Maybe
sound.
the hooks.
It was
I get what you're saying.
It was like a fifth sound.
I get what you're saying.
And it was like, and I could see how.
Well, you're only looking at the way that he
the cadence.
No, because the cadence would be more would not be like Fifth, but the way he was making his songs.
Okay.
Like like the hooks and the stuff like that, and simple lyrics.
It had a 50
you know what I'm
sound.
saying?
It had a 50
But
sound.
he doesn't sound like 50.
It's a 50 sound.
No, he never sounded like 50. He was emulating a pattern.
And he said that 50 Cent was his
But this is what I'm saying. The musical pattern that Troy Ave was doing at that time was emulating, because that's what most people do. And I think a lot of people do it unconsciously. They don't even know. A lot of rappers. That's why even with battle rap, you see cats touching their nose. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like you see cats touching their nose. Wait, that's subconscious, because you was watching Loaded Lux and you was watching these other rappers do it.
Serious Jones.
And Serious Jones or whoever was doing it first, right? And now subconsciously you doing that, right? So it's the same thing with the music. Come on, you're hearing it every day. So unconsciously, he's creating a pattern similar to 50. But my point is
Let me get a comment on that, man.
Pop Smoke sounds like 50 Cent, meaning he got a deep voice. You follow what I'm talking about? You see, that's what a lot of times people don't think about with hip hop. Where hip hop is all about, a lot of times it's the lyrics. It's more the lyrics and the beat. But and then what we don't talk about is actually the like you said, baritone, those different things in the voice. We don't really talk about that. You know what I'm saying? And that's why another reason why I always like Nas over Jay-Z, because Nas' voice, he had a deeper, more interesting voice, a better sounding voice to me. And I think you can say that because like you had Whitney Houston, you had Minnie Riperton, right? You know what I'm saying? You got these singers that have better voices. Look at Barry White. Barry White has a particular type of voice. You follow what I'm talking about?
Right.
And then now you got me thinking about the tones and the deep tones and how they was killing off certain sounds, and then how deep Pop Smoke voice was, and all of a sudden he's killed. But either which way, my point is that nah, man, he got behind. And anyway, Troy Ave, right? Shouts out to him, right? But there was a different type of momentum behind. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just like 50 had a certain momentum. Let's see artists that came out around the same time as 50. Didn't T.I. come out about that same time? The Rubber Man, all that was going on about the same time.
Right.
But T.I. didn't have the same type of momentum that 50 Cent had behind him. Pop Smoke had a certain momentum.
Mixtape, you talking about mixtape 50 or Shady Aftermath 50?
I'm talking about that's the same 50 because that mixtape.
No, I'm saying that because those are two times.
Nah, because all of that after, of course, after he got after the what's that, the Ghetto Quran, what's the name of that album? And I had that record, I had the whole vinyl. Either which way, that first hit after his first album, you know, I don't even know exactly when he got shot. I just remember hearing him on the mixtapes because the conversation wasn't, nobody was talking. I didn't hear about it. I didn't know. But I heard him on he was on songs with Nas. He was a part of the Wild Gremlins, a whole bunch of stuff with Nature. You know what I'm saying? And then that momentum, and then all of a sudden it just kept picking up when he was in the South. Because I moved down to Atlanta. I'm sorry, not him. I moved down to Atlanta, and then you know people are telling me like, yo, 50 Cent, 50 Cent, 50 Cent. So I'm saying T.I. wasn't his momentum was not like that. There was a bidding war for 50 Cent. You know, what's your man, Sony? What's the white boy from Sony, the Italian dude from Sony? If any of y'all remember, man. Man, he was a big guy, man. Big guy, Sony Records. Tommy Mottola. He was trying to get him. Eminem and Dr. Dre, of course. There was a bidding war on that guy. Your man had a similar momentum. What's his name? Pop Smoke.
Okay.
Troy Ave never had the momentum like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and he.
I mean, I get what you're saying. I'm just saying. I get what you're saying.
And it's no knock on Troy Ave. I get abilities, because I told you I like Troy Ave. I remember when hearing him on Sirius Satellite Radio. I remember they used to go up. There used to be he used to be freestyling up on there. I remember him and somebody that was he's just jumping on, creating a hook out of nowhere, like freestyle, like off their head. I was really feeling his whole, what's that called, drive and ambition at that time. You know what I'm saying? And how he's done everything independently. You know what I'm saying? So even when you start weighing out who might have made more money, Troy Ave made a lot of money. Like you said, he got a Ferrari, he got all these different things. Why? He owned all his stuff. So when he did make them hits and get them joints that did cross certain thresholds, like songs with what's your man, Rick Ross. He had a big one with Rick Ross, I remember. And when those songs crossed certain thresholds, he was keeping the most of the money of it. Shouts out to him.
Shouts out to Troy Ave again. All I'm saying is that
you know who should have got behind him? Jay-Z should have got behind him.
Well, he had a lot. He had a lot.
Vibration.
He had a lot of Rock Nation remarks. You know, and blame it on Rock Nation throughout the whole thing. You know, maybe that's try to reach to knocking on the door of. But my point is,
maybe behind the scenes they involved. You never know.
Maybe, but what I'm saying is, Troy Ave, to me, sound like 50. You know, had the 50 sound. He interacted with 50. The interaction wasn't smooth. You know what I'm saying? It was bumpy interaction. 50 didn't go with Troy Ave. Like he didn't get behind Troy Ave, but you know he got behind Pop Smoke.
Right.
And then
you see my reasoning, because I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I'm hoping that I'm adding a little bit more context, so you could kind of get what I'm saying about why I'm more, you know, because you know right now I understand where you're coming from, but you get what I'm saying of why it was more, what's it called, lucrative, right? You know what I'm saying? Not only lucrative, but they might have vibed better. You know what I'm talking about?
That was along the lines of what I was saying, because what I was getting at is, you know, the aggression that Troy Ave subscribed to you know, in approaching 50, whatever happened, I don't know. It didn't allow them to mesh well because he even said it. You know what I'm saying?
He said that?
Yeah, it did not mesh well, but he said that after he confronted 50.
Right.
And the 50's the type of dude. You know what I mean? That you don't. I'm thinking you don't confront me. Yeah, I said what I said. You know what I'm saying? But you don't know why I said what I said.
Right.
I probably was I'm trying to get you hot by talking about you. You know what I'm saying? Like the same way Jay-Z said, I'm about $1. What the fuck's the 50 cent?
Right.
That got 50 hot.
That was definitely dope.
You know what I'm saying? So you never know. I mean,
He was already hot though, but it was dope.
but my point is, in the similarity is that 50 prescribed to dealt with Pop Smoke, and to me, I could be wrong. The sounds were similar. When I first heard Troy Ave, I immediately went to 50. That's a 50 sound.
Like the way he's making his songs, like the way he write his hooks and stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
not how his voice sounds.
not
Can
as
we agree that his voice?
I have to go back and listen to it.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? I have to go back and listen to it because because the first thing I hear is the voice. So I'm a definitely, but my mind immediately went to 50. It didn't go to nobody else but to 50. You know what I'm saying? And so, but if there's a way to animate yourself without having in this particular time, and this is for the young people that's like that watch the debatables, that you know what I mean, the Gen Zs. If you guys see this right here, allow yourself, do not put yourself in a position where you're recognized as an op, and that could be very difficult because in what your man was saying, Troy, I was saying, he's like, I don't prescribe to beef. I'm not the one to start trouble, right. But if you bring trouble to me, I'm gonna meet aggression with 10 times the aggression you brought to me. So what I'm saying to the Generation Z is, look at your landscape, your canvas, and identify it like it's a video game, like it is Grand Theft Auto. You follow what I'm saying? And the whole thing with this particular video game is, how do you get to the end with the least casualties? Because the game that's being played right now is based on when you become an op. Anything you do might be within the prescription of you being an op. And then now what happens is, in being an op or opposition, you are a candidate to be taken out the game, to be popped, stabbed, or whatever. Right. You know what I'm saying? Once it's a mutual agreement, you guys got the music culture and everything else. The ones that's not involved in a gang or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Whatever you subscribe to, put yourself in a position where you fight the game and you do not allow yourself to get taken out the game because you're recognized as an op. You know what I'm saying? So that's my suggestion after watching the video with Troy Ave, because you had guys that was there that was from an older generation. You know what I mean? The 90s, the 70s babies was there, and then you know what I mean? They was talking about how aggressive it was during the time of the late 80s and 90s and stuff like that. But then you could tell that there was that era Troy Ave was coming from, which is not too far apart.
80s, probably, right?
80s, you know what I'm saying? Like late 80s. So, but it becomes a situation where these guys don't have a code of ethics. I want to say, I don't know, but I think the code is different. You know what I mean? I think the code is different, and even now with the Gen Zs, you know what I'm saying, the Grand Theft Auto era, the code is different. You know what I'm saying? I think whatever you got running through your system, whether it's Molly or whatever, the weed you're smoking on, you know what I mean, whatever it is, the lean you're drinking is like elimination or destruction is imminent. You know what I mean? It has to happen. You know what I mean? By any means. And I think you just got to remove yourself the canvas, from the landscape, in order for you to maintain. You know what I mean? But that's what I got on that. But shouts out to Troy Ave. It was a great interview.
Right.
It was great to hear you
Right.
speak your perspective.
Yeah.
And I didn't catch nothing about the you know what I mean? I thought I was, you know what I mean? But maybe it's gonna come up.
It was all in there though.
Yeah, but I didn't hear it direct.
No, it definitely wasn't direct, but it was all in there because he was bringing up the guy that died and all that, his man that got killed, and his experience inside of. You didn't watch all of them. He was talking about his experience inside of wherever that place was, where he had to, where he said he was shot in both legs or something, and he still had to look for his peoples, make sure they was okay, and then protect everybody. That's the mindset he was running with.
Right. So that was the same. That was, and then he got shot in the head a whole nother time.
Yeah, a whole nother time. Yeah, whole nother time.
Damn.
Yeah, whole nother time. So, I mean, yeah, man, it's like, it ain't even worth it, man. But this is how I like how you likened it to a game, but this is how they set the game up for us. Like, you know what I'm saying? Come on, man. Like, what musicians got to go through that, bro, to make it? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's almost like, it's almost like you got to almost die to become like,
actors,
like a great rapper. Like, like it ain't even worth it, bro. I'd rather, it ain't even worth it, man. So like, but it is what it is, man. Moving on.
Yeah.
And hip hop that's part of it is depressing, bro. I don't even listen. That part is depressing, man, because come on, man, like man, look at what it's doing to us, man. But that's not happening with Afro beats. You know what I'm saying? That's not happening with that. That's happening with R&B right now because they anything dealing with us in America, man. There is a definite, specific, what's that called? Focus to kill you. To kill me and you. Let me tell you something. One time I was at this club with this guy. I think Chris Murphy might have brought me to this spot or whatever. This was back, in the 90s or whatever. This white guy out of nowhere just was coming to me like, yo, listen, get your children. Now, mind you, this one how I said, what's it called? What's that called? Law of attraction. So now, I'm just starting to like. I think I read Behold the Pale Horse, and Joe Rogan was saying he was debunking that whole book, Behold a Pale Horse. Of course, you remember that book, right? With the CIA agent that revealed a bunch of stuff. But I don't know. Either which way, is a lot of that's a lot. If it's real,
David Icke,
regardless, yeah, but that's different. Behold the Pale Horse was just giving you what the government. Was David Icke goes into the government too, but he's also talking about reptilians. He's talking about a lot of different other experiences. He went down to South Africa, right?
Yeah.
Met with tribes that met with some of these reptilians and stuff. So that's like a little bit more different. But my point, that was the mindset I was on. Just got introduced to Dr. Malachi York at the same time. White guy comes out of nowhere like, listen, get your kids. This I swear he said, get your kids, get your family, and get out of here. Like, get out of, I don't know if he said America, but he was like, yo, get out of the way of danger. Because he's like, I'm a teacher. He said, I'm a teacher in Washington Heights. This is what he said. I'm a teacher in Washington Heights, and I'm telling you, there's an agenda to kill y'all. That's what he was saying.
But it's facts. I mean, look at it, man. Like, I don't feel like, Fred the Godson had to die. You know what I mean? Like,
that was with the COVID thing.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Yeah, we back on.
Okay, got it. Yeah, we back again though.
All right, so closing remarks, what I'm saying? What I want to say is identify what's being played as a game and still allow you to get taken out the game because it's being played fair.
Right, and I say keep in mind that there's forces that are putting these situations into play. Okay, that being said, we gotta realize that, and when we realize that, then we can start getting to the core of the problem. So at times, the person that's the is not even the core of the problem.
Right, facts. And shouts out to Max B.
Right.
I heard he coming home in April.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely heard that.
That new joint. And shouts out to French Montana for holding him up.
And French Montana gonna be on the Math Offer. I saw he shared that on YouTube. That's
dope. So I mean, I can't wait for that to come out. But shouts out to French. You know what I mean? French for holding him up. You know what I mean? Like,
that's a fact.
That's a loyal one. That's a true one. That's a real one.
Right.
You know what I'm
You
saying?
don't even see that a lot these days.
Nah, I mean, and that's what I'm saying is
Right.
like, even with him, you see how he maneuver as far as French Montana. You know what I mean? He don't leave himself in an environment to be subjugated to any of that
You know, they
stuff.
shot up this video shoot.
As of recent.
Yeah, like last week it was 10 people shot doing a French Montana video.
But I'm saying, where was it though?
In Miami.
He went into an environment where that happened.
Yeah.
He have enough money where he could have
Right.
picked anywhere for you know what I mean? So my point is,
But it's like the gladiator mindset. Yeah.
and then but that's what you subscribe to, and then you know whatever your makeup your makeup comes out now, because now you got to protect yourself.
Right.
You might catch a bid. You know what I'm saying? And you know what is it when keeping it real goes wrong? You know what I'm saying? You don't have to
You know, he probably didn't think it was gonna go off like that, but you
that's
gotta
sad.
start thinking.
But it's
that
sad
it
to
ain't
hear
gonna
because
go off like that.
because
Right.
what happened to Nipsey, he was right on his block,
Right.
right in front of his shop.
Right.
You follow what I'm saying?
Right.
And he got popped.
Right. All right, man. All right, y'all. Tomorrow. Thank you.